Chair, Guest of Honour Liz Cameron, Principal, members of our College Board, distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, our graduates. My name is Sheila Lodge. I am the Deputy Principal of City of Glasgow College, and it is my great pleasure to extend to you all a very warm welcome to our 2019 Winter Graduation Ceremony. Firstly, may I remind you please to switch off your mobile phone? And can I also ask that once we've begun the presentation of today's awards, you remain in your seats for the full duration of the ceremony. I would now like to introduce the Chair of our Board of Management, Alistair Barron.
Distinguished guests, honoured guests, principal members of our College Board, ladies and gentlemen, and most importantly, graduates of 2019 and your family and friends. By tradition, the Chair of the Board of Management of the City of Glasgow College normally closes our graduation ceremonies. I suppose, if you will, for once in my life, I'm offered the last word. But it's a token of the numbers of those graduating or receiving certificates and diplomas in each of today's 3 ceremonies that I've been honoured by being given the chance to welcome each and every one of you. So thank you all for joining us here today. Speaking on behalf of my board colleagues, we are delighted to celebrate with you all the achievement, hard work and endeavour which will be represented by the degrees and diplomas you will shortly receive. We are very proud of and for all of you. Beyond doubt, this is your day, so it is important to take a moment to reflect on the ambition, commitment, dedication and hard work that has brought you here today. Candidly, we know that you didn't achieve this solely by your own efforts. So thanks also go to members of your family, your friends, some of whom will be with you here today, but also to those lecturers, tutors, and the other members of Team City for the advice, encouragement, guidance, help and support given to you throughout your time at the college. Our graduation ceremonies always include a keynote address from the college principal, Paul Little. More than a decade ago, Principal Little accepted the challenge offered by the then Board of Management of letting learning flourish by creating here in Glasgow a world-class centre of practical professional learning. Our joint ambition and commitment to provide our students with world-class learning opportunities and an immersive student experience is unwavering. Ladies and gentlemen, we seek to ensure generations of students have every opportunity and advantage in acquiring the skills necessary for a long, successful and fulfilling career. To that end, in a relatively short time, Principal Little's inspirational, innovative leadership has taken the City of Glasgow College from being a new institution to being one of the top performing colleges in Scotland in overall further and higher education. His achievements have been recognised nationally and internationally, most recently with a fellowship of the Royal Society of Edinburgh, and only last week he was presented with the Wallace Foundation Medal, which he is currently wearing, for his contribution to maritime and culinary education and for the development of relationships between the United Kingdom and the USA. Since his appointment as Ambassador for World Skills in Scotland, he has overseen the creation of a World Skills Academy and the college's consistent #1 ranking in the World Skills. The principal is by birth an Ulsterman and by inclination both internationalist and a dedicated educationalist. He has successfully led and reshaped 5 UK colleges to meet the challenges of continuous learning in the 21st century. As a result, earning an international reputation and a well-deserved international reputation as a visionary reformer and successful agent of change at the very forefront in redefining college education. His leadership continues to redefine tertiary education and keeps students at the heart of everything we do. Above all, he believes passionately, as my colleagues in the Board of Management do, that education is the great enabler. The great enabler that boosts social mobility and is an important driver for economic growth and welfare. We know you can go forth in confidence in your abilities and talents. As graduates and alumni of City of Glasgow College, leave here today with the conviction that anything is possible, and the college stands ready to help your lifelong learning and to help further your career. Ladies and gentlemen, with little more ado, can I welcome Principal Little to deliver his address.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Chairman, guest of honour Liz Cameron, honoured fellows, members of our college board, distinguished guests, principal of Kelvin College, ladies and gentlemen, and most especially our graduating class of 2019 before me. Can I add my very warm welcome to each and every one of you here today to our winter graduation ceremony for a single faculty, the Faculty of Education and Humanity. This is the second of 3 graduation ceremonies today, so it's a very large faculty, and we have a lot of graduates to get through this afternoon. This date next month is exactly Christmas Day. And for some of our graduates, this feels like their Christmas Day. Not only do you get dressed up, I don't get dressed up against Christmas Day, but I did get dressed up, obviously, like this for this particular graduation. But I am delighted that in celebrating such an occasion, we have a very important, distinguished guest to help us do that. It's a personal honour to have the Chief Executive of the Scottish Chambers of Commerce with us today, Liz Cameron, Dr. Cameron. And we look forward to your words of inspiration and your words of wisdom. Such, ladies and gentlemen, is the very close partnership that the City of Glasgow College enjoys with commerce and industry. Now, I am delighted that before me are 1,169 eligible graduates for this ceremony. You'll be pleased to know not everyone is here today, otherwise we'll be here well into this evening, although there's an awful lot in this particular ceremony. Graduates, you look wonderful in your academic gowns. I hope that you genuinely enjoy today. It's probably at this moment that you're regretting buying those new shoes when you see the little platform. Now, don't be worried at all. It's just you, me, and about 1 million people watching you online. Ladies and gentlemen, this ceremony is streamed live on the internet for the many families and friends that aren't able to be with us from right around the world. And I'm obviously delighted today, just to highlight a couple. I'm delighted that our current Student Association President, Dylan Duff, he didn't think I was going to say this, but I'm going to look forward to shaking Dylan's hand. In the first ceremony, Dylan was on the platform party. Now Dylan graduates himself today, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm not going to embarrass some of the other staff, but we have members of our support faculty also enhancing their qualifications and graduating today. Mums and dads, grandparents, I too feel the enormous pride that our teaching faculty, with their leaders, the curriculum heads and the associate deans before me, have for those students who have spent 1, 2 or perhaps 3 years getting to this point on their particular learning journey. And, you know, graduates, I take a personal honour to congratulate you as you come across the stage and receive your internationally recognised qualification. Because today is indeed a day of public celebration, a day of accomplishment, a day of transition, a day of enhanced vocational learning, a day of mastery of technical and professional skills. And of course, graduations are also a time for organisations to reflect on the past year. And I'm delighted that it's been a spectacular year of success for City of Glasgow College. Class of 2019, ladies and gentlemen, in this calendar year alone, the City of Glasgow College has been honoured with 58 major awards. That's more than one a week. And that's acknowledgement of the diligence, the dedication, the creativity of our faculty before us and those who are back at our twin site campus teaching some 40,000 students for Glasgow, for Scotland, and indeed further afield. I'm very proud of Team City and all that they have achieved in this past year. And today is a good time to celebrate that along with our graduates. You know, a college is really very much about the collective endeavours of its staff and its students. And alongside and amongst the 1,169 graduands here today are some 26 competitors who have returned from Birmingham at the weekend, having spent 3 days competing in the UK's largest, most elite, most difficult World Skills National Finals in the UK. And I'm delighted, Mr. Chairman, that they return with some 12 medals. I'm delighted that half of those, or about half of those, were gold medals, 2 highly commendations in addition to that. It is about time that we let someone else win. So by a single point, doesn't quite pay me, but by a single point, another Scottish college is number 1. City of Glasgow College is in second place for this year. For the last 5 years alone, the college has been in that top 5 position. I did an analysis of the medals, and I said we were in second place. 17 points behind us was a college from Northern Ireland. I have to be honest, it was my former college. It's too bad. I did a further analysis to discover that we had double the points of our Welsh counterparts, who were 5th. And of course, I take no pleasure in saying that we had treble the points of the nearest English college, which was a 9th position. But anyway, I think we did rather well there. You know, there's about 530 finalists compete for a year to get to those 3 days of competitions. And of those 530 finalists, 81 were from Scotland. I'm proud of all of those 81. I'm particularly proud that a quarter of those competitors were from the City of Glasgow College. And I think that's important, Mr. Chairman, because that's recognition of the high standard of technical and professional education. And if we are right up there at the top, Scottish technical and professional education, and indeed the proficiency of the skills that each of our graduates have, are recognised and indeed are ranked as amongst the highest in the United Kingdom, above our partner nations there. So I do believe, ladies and gentlemen, that and their particular efforts and the efforts of their skills coaches deserves at this juncture a huge round of applause. You know, this is yet another brilliant year of success for this college and indeed Scottish colleges. And Liz, you'll be pleased to hear, as a major employer yourself, that City of Glasgow College each year helps the economy with some 8,000 graduates. Some go on to higher study, some go straight into the world of work. In addition to that, City of Glasgow College, according to the Fraser Vallender Institute, contributes an impressive, ladies and gentlemen, £1.5 billion of gross value added to the Glasgow and the Scottish economy. And along with Derek's College and John's College, the Glasgow colleges account for a quarter of all college education in Scotland. So we're making a major contribution to the economy, a major contribution to social mobility, a major contribution to widening access to higher education for the many and indeed not the few. And ultimately, we at City of Glasgow College are levelling the playing field of opportunity for the young people here and not so young people here in Scotland. Mr. Chairman, members of our board, your college, our college, Scotland Super College, is the most popular of all the colleges in Scotland. In fact, it's also the third most popular if you include all the universities as well. And why might that be? Well, if you look at our student satisfaction rating of 96% onto positive destinations, and you look this morning or this afternoon at the talent that will come across the stage, it's little wonder that we retain such a high ranking here in Scotland amongst our university and college peers. Now, graduates, you might be wondering why all of this is important, why all these accolades have been mentioned at your graduation ceremony. Well, they are proof positive time and time and time again that your college, with the standards that you are graduating with, are the highest in the United Kingdom and amongst the highest anywhere in the world. As Liz knows, they carry significant influence with employers. So as you come across the stage, stand tall, because graduating from the City of Glasgow College really means something extra special. The opportunities, the choice, the standards that we provide matter. The competitions we enter matter. Being recognised with national and international awards matter. They remind politicians, they remind key opinion formers and parents, and indeed Civic Scotland, that they need to look even more closely at their colleges and even value them higher than they presently do. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I've devoted some 32 years to college education, and I can see, along with my colleague in Edinburgh, that we have an important contribution to make, not just to education, not just to social mobility, but indeed to the economy. And I was honoured, along with Audrey, to be commissioned to write a special report, probably out after Christmas, about the impact of colleges on the economy. And it's clear to us that colleges now in the 21st century are indeed remarkable institutions with remarkable staff, and, as you'll see today and hear today, with remarkable students. We don't celebrate that often enough. They are increasingly demand-led. They are very much civic anchors for regional, metropolitan, as we are, or indeed for rural communities across Scotland. So, working with our schools and our university partners in a tertiary ecosystem, colleges are delivering from very basic access education, entry-level education, right through to mid-skill level education, right through to high-skill level education. And that will be evidenced by the awards that you hear and see today. And increasingly, colleges are being valued for their agile, their adaptive, and their inclusive approach. Audrey and I believe that the colleges of the system are the real icons in our education system, and that they need to be much more treasured, and they need to be spoken of in the same breath as the cherished universities. World-class colleges standing tall with world-class universities. That's the way it should be, and that's the way City and Glasgow College demonstrates that it is here in our city. Distinguished guests, colleges matter more than they have ever mattered before, because the changing nature of work means that colleges are required to upskill and reskill and future skill the graduates for a world of change, a world where that change isn't just fast-paced, that change is exponential. We now have a world full of technological disruption, of cloud technology, of artificial intelligence, of the Internet of Things, of 3D printings, of robotics, and of machine learning. And that will require, as Liz knows, a workforce that will require to be flexible and adaptable. They'll need to constantly reinvent themselves. That will be faced with multiple problems, where their curiosity as their courage will be tested than never before. And indeed, ladies and gentlemen, that's the meta skills that we ensure that our students leave with the highest levels. Because college graduates are masters of doing just as much as they are masters of learning. Because colleges and a college education goes beyond book smarts. It goes to a lifetime of mastery, a lifetime of unrivaled resilience. Members of our board, Mr. Chairman, you know that 2019 is indeed a significant landmark year, another landmark year for the City of Glasgow College. We celebrate, ladies and gentlemen, 50 years, half a century, if you will, of unbroken, successful education at the highest levels of nautical science and marine engineering on the banks of the mighty River Clyde. Now, of course, much has changed over those 50 years. The institution, the legacy institution of Glasgow College of Nautical Studies is no longer there. In the first intake in 1969, the initial enrolment was 400 officers for the British Merchant Navy. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2019, the intake is 2,000 officers for the British and International Merchant Navy. And we've been achieving the highest standards of teaching excellence for all those 50 years, replacing the 1960s building with a top 6 UK building, shortlisted for UK Building of the Year in the amazing Sterling Architectural Awards. Who would have thought a Glasgow building, who would have thought a college building would actually be shortlisted? I was particularly delighted when I was sitting beside Oxford University, and they were a wee bit disappointed when they didn't win, and I was smiling when we were highly commended on that particular evening. You know, ladies and gentlemen, who also would have thought 50 years on that Glasgow and the City of Glasgow College now provides training for up to 1/3 of all the officers in the UK's Merchant Navy, and we have that here in Glasgow. We also have very strong colleges in Glasgow, and we work in strong partnership with our 2 Glasgow colleges right across a spectrum of courses. Now, you'll hear one faculty here today, but you'll get a flavour of those 2,000 courses, because in this 21st century, the students are upskilled and reskilled for the challenges ahead. We prepare the graduates to take on roles that actually haven't been invented yet. By the time they start their course, by the time they graduate, the role 3 years on might become invented. We teach our students to use technology and to have the flexibility in that technology that as it changes, it hasn't been invented yet. We teach them to solve problems that actually society doesn't know is a problem yet. So I hope you get a flavour, ladies and gentlemen, of the City of Glasgow College is very much a college that you can be proud of. For our way is the way of inspiration, is the way of excellence. At the heart of all that we do is very much about innovation. We have to be innovative because the world of work and the economies that we support are changing all the time. You know, graduates, as you leave us today, I hope that you join our influential alumni association right across the world. There are alumni from the City of Glasgow College and indeed its legacy institutions who are making a major, significant impact in all 5, 6 nations or continents of the world. And we deliver as a college, Liz, in some 5 continents around the world. This week alone, 7 of our staff will be leaving Glasgow to go to all different parts of the world, in Cuba, in Indonesia, in Singapore and in India. Just a small flavour of how international and how 21st century the City of Glasgow College is. Now, graduates, you know for the last year or 2 or 3 years, depending on your programme, your course, you know the very special contribution that your lecturers have made to your learning journey. But only you know the even more special contribution that members of your family, your friends, your partners have made in your success here today. So I'd like you, in time-honoured tradition, at this point in the ceremony, to please be upstanding and try and face where you believe your families are and give them a huge round of applause. Can you do that for me now? Okay, thank you. Please be seated. That allows the blood to get flowing. You'll be on the stage shortly. You know, ladies and gentlemen, at this stage in my speech, as I conclude, my chairman, chuckling as he is, I've no doubt, is wondering why I have left out my obligatory quotation of a US president. I was very fortunate to be schooled in the United States. And you'll, of course, forgive me if I don't use the current US president. But let me use my hero, the 35th President of the United States, one of our US nationals, Scott Harrison, one of our Associate Deans, will recognise this. But what you won't know, Scott, is that John F. Kennedy said these very words, or was inspired by these words in Glasgow 80 years ago, when his father sent him up as the ambassador to the UK to meet survivors from a ship that had been sank, a liner had been sank in the Atlantic. And Kennedy once said, and I'll end with this, ladies and gentlemen, let us think of education as the means of developing our greatest abilities, because in each of us is a hope and a dream to be fulfilled. For one person can make a difference, and everyone should try. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get a new quote for the last one. This is a real honour at this stage. I'm going to formally introduce our guest of honour, Liz Cameron, Dr. Liz Cameron, for our second ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, this lady is one of the 4 most influential leaders in Scottish business today. It's an honour, it's a genuine pleasure, Liz, to introduce a valued member of our college family. As Chief Executive of the Scottish Chambers of Commerce, Dr. Liz Cameron, leads a very inspirational organisation, spearheading growth for many, many businesses right across Scotland. She was the major leader who inspired the very first education and business partnership. She was the very first to develop a national graduate recruitment initiative. She was the very first to develop an international trade and supporting partnership. I'm sure she too is just back from somewhere exotic. Widely respected as a visionary leader, Liz has received numerous awards, richly deserved. She was awarded an OBE in the Queen's Birthday Honours in 2014 for her services to business, and more recently an honorary doctorate from the University of the West of Scotland, a doctorate from the University of Life. And described her as an unyielding commitment to promoting Scotland as a great place for business. She's also been honoured with a Woman of Inspiration Award by the Association of Scottish Businesswomen for her trailblazing contribution to the growth of the Scottish business sector. Having successfully run many small businesses herself, Liz took the helm of the Scottish Chamber of Commerce in 2004. She is very much, ladies and gentlemen, the go-to person for the Scottish Government. She is very much the go-to person for top politicians. And she represents the views of all types of businesses to these key opinion formers, both nationally and indeed internationally. And I know that you've helped promote Scotland across Europe, across China, and indeed across India very, very successfully. She is only one of 2 Scots ever to feature in the all-female 100 most influential leaders in the UK-India relationships list. And she celebrates this role with her being an international trade champion for the UK in India and indeed and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge Glasgow home welcome to our guest of honour, Dr. Liz Cameron. Liz, thank you.
Well, what an introduction, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Principal. I wasn't sure if he was talking about me at one point, but thank you very much, and good afternoon. Chair, Principal, ladies and gentlemen, and of course to you, the students, who are being honoured and recognised today for all your hard work and celebrating with your family, with your friends, with possibly your carers, and indeed your lecturers, your own individual success. I was very touched when, towards the close of the Principal's speech, when you all did stand up, and the excitement in the room, you could actually feel the emotion. And I saw, once the lights were up on the balconies here, the wonderful pride that was coming from your parents, your grandparents, and your friends. That's a wonderful moment that you will share and that you will remember as you progress into your next career or your next job or your next training. So value it very well, because even as someone who's outside coming into this environment, it was a wonderful experience. So thank you, and you can applaud yourself again for your great success. It is an absolute honour, and I mean it very sincerely, to have been invited to address this ceremony here, especially in these magnificent surroundings of the Royal Concert Hall. But it is the magnificent institute of the City of Glasgow College which has enabled all of us to be sharing this great ceremony together. This college, as the Principal has indicated, is Scotland's largest and one of the most successful. A great asset as a business leader for Scotland. A position which this college has worked very, very hard at achieving through great leadership, and remember that word leadership, through a great vision, through great ambition, determination, and above all, partnerships. It is also being recognised for its innovation and excellence across the UK and internationally. So may I take this opportunity, Chair and Principal, on behalf of the business community of Scotland, to congratulate you both and to all of the staff on your recent outstanding achievements and awards. The Principal mentioned at the World Skills UK Live National Finals, where they won 12 awards, including, as the Principal indicated, 5 golds, for their leading work in preparing students for work, in preparing students to take their place in employment, and in preparing students where you're sitting today to actually make that difference to our economy in no matter which direction of travel you're entering. But I understand the college didn't stop here. They also won the prestigious Scottish Financial Services Award for pioneering and innovative work to fast-track work readiness courses. I think that, please join me and deserve an absolute round of applause for the college, for the chair, the principal and the staff. An outstanding achievement for Scotland. Now let's get back to the celebrations and the fun. And I say fun because this is what education is all about. Celebrating a significant step up on the path that will become your working life, your future. Now, I'm not much of a hill walker, or indeed a runner, but I know that when you are climbing up, running faster, or perhaps working out at that gym, I understand people do these things, they all take real effort and hard work. It takes more willpower and determination than if you're simply walking along the same path and at the same level. But when you do achieve that higher pinnacle, as you have all done, you can and should be justly proud. Today is about taking a measure of your individual achievement with a much stronger perspective on where are you going now. I would ask you just individually, just stop and pause for a moment, turn back and look at the view that's taken you to where you are today. You may see when you do this, at this level, that there are actually bigger hills now to climb, with many different paths and options for you to take. It's important to remember that we all have differing starting points. My message is very strong. There should never, ever be any limitations placed upon you as to how far you can climb, or indeed how and how much you can achieve in that path. There are no barriers to anyone. I am advocating this from personal experience. Further education has played a major role in defining and shaping my personal career over a substantial number of years, probably much more than I would care to count, or indeed I'm prepared to share with you. But as a result, I have an enormous passion, respect, and gratitude as I personally, for a moment, am pausing, I'm turning back, and I'm looking at the rear view. My personal journey, I will share some of it with you shortly, I hope will inspire everyone in this room for you to keep climbing when you come out here and graduate today. It's a major achievement. My educational route was not regarded as standard. When I found myself at 15 years of age, not having a clue what I wanted to do. Now, unfortunately then, they did not have the tremendous support and advice that's around today. So I had no desire whatsoever at that point to go to university. That part I knew. I had no family role models. It was not expected that I would be going into a university. One of 5 siblings, with my older brothers entering the apprenticeship route to go and get a trade. And some of the parents may relate to that, or indeed grandparents in the room. So the obvious path for me was I was to go out and get a job. Quite easy. I decided I want to work somewhere in business. And at that point, my high school was not equipped for this route. They were only focused on individuals who were going to university. So I decided I would leave school, which I did at 15 years of age. I applied to what was then the James Watt College in Greenock, which is now transformed into a campus of the west of Scotland, where I did 1 year full-time education in office management. I then joined a local electronics and engineering company, working up the ladder of promotion, spending many years in disciplines covering planning, human resource management, international supply sourcing, project management, quality control, and many others. What is also worth sharing is that after my 1 year full-time course at my local college, I then went on to progress in my career and continue to attend college for the next 10 years at day release classes and evening classes. And I even ended up being a lecturer towards the end of my college education. I even considered becoming a lecturer full-time. I'm sure I would have been quite good at that as well. I gained all my awards and certificates at that college and then went on to do further and indeed higher education. But what it taught me was that learning and the development of an individual is in the hands of ourselves. We do it because we want to do it. We do it because it matters. So everyone in this room, my message is, this is only the beginning. Isn't it exciting? You've got another 10, 15 years. You know, I can hear you all signing up as we leave today. But you have to be hungry. You have to be hungry to succeed, and I was. My own ambition and expectation of success kept rising as more opportunities were identified, and I grasped every one of them. And if the opportunity wasn't presented, then I made it. You can make your own opportunity happen. So remember that. You are in the lead always. During this period, I also changed my career path. One day I saw an advert for someone looking for an individual to set up a new business support project to help young people set up in business. I didn't have the experience at all, but the objectives of what it was trying to do firmly resonated with me and very strongly. So I went for it, and I got the job. And I went on to become the most successful programs across the UK, with many others following. I then discovered that I had a particular talent in setting up and growing businesses. That was my kick. I also became the very first female CE of a Chamber of Commerce in the UK, and subsequently moving on to become a director of the CE of the Scottish Chambers, with a few positions in between. Again, a first for a female head of any Scottish business organisation. I'm sharing that with you because without realising, or indeed sitting down and doing my career plan, I had become and was becoming a role model for others to follow, which is an enormous responsibility. And those who are in that position today, please treat it well, because it's very important that every one of us, in some way, are role models for others. It's a very, very serious responsibility, so do it well. I would also add, in between all of this, I also decided that I had to go to university eventually. You know, people expected it of me. So I then, 23 years later, my daughter was 2 at the time, I went on and did a master's, again in the evenings and at the weekends, at Strathclyde University. So when I say that education is continuous in learning, it very much is, if you're hungry. When I also look back, I recognise that my success, and indeed my future success, has been driven by personal and professional values, by my education, and by my experiences. They're a fundamental part of who we all are in this room, and more importantly, who we all aspire to become. My personal drivers have changed throughout my career, as many events and many people and experiences have influenced me and also supported me. So what are my drivers? I have an exceptionally strong work ethic, and I make no apology for that. If I want something bad enough, then it was instilled in me by my parents and others that I have met through my career. You need to work hard for it, but the rewards are exceptional. And every one of you in this room, you've worked hard, and you're going to reap the rewards today. You're going to feel that sense of pride, and you're going to go on to do so many fantastic things. Always accept challenges. You will have already overcome many to be here, but there will be many more put in front of you. My advice is to embrace them, find the solutions to them, and above all, make change happen for all in our communities. Never accept, ever, that we can't do that. That's my phrase that I dislike. There will be barriers. They exist in many different forms, but the best way, again, is to overcome these, remove them. And the best way to remove them is to recognize them and work through to find a solution. Integrity. This is a very, very important value for me and I hope for all of us. Work always at ensuring you are recognized as having a high level of integrity. Treat others equally and with absolute and utter respect, always. We all recognize we have different opinions and views in life, but adopt the great art of listening, and it is a great art. It can go a long way as you progress in your careers. Always be honest, both with yourself, your peers, and others. If something does not go quite to plan, we are all human. We make mistakes, but always learn from them. Be open. This will earn you greater respect and integrity in the long run. Push your limits. Be that positive, constructive disruptor. That's the exciting part of life. Persevere, drive, and embrace the change that's presented to you. I would now like to touch a little bit more on that change environment, which in fact your principal, I think he actually stole my speech, to be honest with you. But he touched on some of the areas that I'm about to close on. The only thing that's constant as we move forward is a change environment, as we embark on what is called the new technological age of learning and indeed the new models of working. More so in the very immediate short and medium term. It's accelerating and it is absolutely unstoppable. It can be exciting, or indeed I know many may in fact fear the level of change that's now hitting us. But if you think about a few facts about some history, if we think change is accelerating fast today, it took 46 years, I understand, for telephones to have reached 50 million people. 46 years. It took 22 years for 50 million of us to actually have a television set, going way back. It took 12 years for 50 million of us to have mobile phones. And it took 3 years for Facebook to reach its first 50 million people. And 19 days before there were 50 million people signed up to Pokemon Go. Change is accelerating, ladies and gentlemen. But what is important for us here is how the pace of this change has had an undeniable impact on the employment market, now and indeed the future. It is said that our younger employees, and I won't ask them to define younger, will now switch jobs at least 4 times within a 10-year period of their working life. So that's 4 different jobs within 10 years. That in itself presents challenges for you here today, for your parents and grandparents and others, for this college, and indeed for business. We must accelerate, we must adapt, and we must be even more flexible than we even can imagine right now. There are also repeated claims that 85% of the jobs we will be doing by 2030 have not even been invented yet. Quite an amazing statement, I thought. And I often hear myself thinking when I hear it, what exactly does that mean? And how on earth can we as a business community and our colleges, and in particular this one, move to future-proof this learning environment in an area where we do not quite know what's coming, and it's coming fast? That is our challenge. Perhaps what is more important of a fact is that the landscape around us is also transforming, driven by the digitalization, globalization. We talk about innovation and the rise of artificial intelligence and automation. Yes, robots are here and are already contributing into improving many of our sectors, like financial services, where algorithms can drive faster and more efficient analysis and assessment than ever before. We already have driverless vehicles, not that they're coming, they're here. We already have global shipping carriers going round the world driven by total automation. And I'm talking about big shipping carriers with 2 people on it. Just think about that. And it's also being utilised in many, many other sectors. But I am pleased to say, humans, we, human beings, we have a vital role to play, in part for the future, to develop and transform and drive this evolution that we all hear about. So do not forget that. Human beings and our talent and our skills will be critical. Your principal mentioned upskilling, reskilling, etc. It will just be a different jobs than what we're doing now, but hopefully more satisfying for everyone in that value chain. What these fast-moving currents that I describe them as in the job market means for us is that we need to have such attributes, as your principal mentioned, to be resilient, to be agile, to be open, and have a willingness to embrace the idea that education isn't something that once done, it's over. You're coming out, you're going to get your wonderful graduation ceremony and fabulous. Treat that as the beginning, please. I really would advocate that to everyone. I know it's been hard. I know you've probably had a lot of challenges, but please, it is only the start if you really want to achieve your ambitions. It is, for me, a lifelong pursuit of adding new skills and a widening of your view in the world. And I'm saying that from my own experience, not from my career plan. It means that as you have now reached the summit of your learning experience here, you keep your eyes forward and upward to the next rise, as well as perhaps your next glen. What you can take away with you today is that you have earned for yourself the tools and skills that will take you to your next level, and indeed, hopefully, the next, or however high you all wish to climb. But always remember, open that door. Go through it. Do not fear it. And always, always take others with you. I wish you all immense congratulations on your achievements today. And also, more importantly, I also wish you absolute continued success as you take your next step forward to become valuable individuals that business and other sectors need for us to grow. So thank you for the talent that's in this room this afternoon. Congratulations.
Thank you very much for those inspirational words, Liz. We come now to the most important part of this afternoon's ceremony, the conferment of our Graduands Awards. I invite Principal Little to confer the awards, and Gus Grubb, Dean of the Faculty of Education and Humanities, to come forward.
Thank you, Deputy Principal. Principal, it gives me great honour to present to you the graduands for the Faculty of Education and Humanities. HNC Accounting, Gerda Giba Viasciuti. Leslie McCabe. Zoe Shannon Meakin. Tristan Ragraggio. Anis Raymond. Will Usher. HND Accounting, Nusrat Ara. Aksa Butta. Alison Bruce. John Clark. Rachel Connor. Angeles Gil Munoz. Nusabi Hamraras. Jack Heaney. John Campbell Jenkins. Cheryl McCulloch. Faiza Mohammed. Caitlin Pride. Charlotte Frangiella Rowden. Emma Skinner. And Kyle Thompson. HND Financial Services, Miral Azif. Carly Daniels. Michelle Ferguson. Bruno Guedes. Carolyn McDowell. HND Supply Chain Management, Amadou Anglade. James Brennan. Hannah Lindsay Svilena Ivanova. Mandy McGregor. Lauren Miller. Cameron Smith. And Chloe Wright. HNC Retail, Fiona Evans. Nicole Gerety. HND Retail Management, Rachel Burns. Dion Carlin. Hazel De La Cruz. Portia Girvan. Olivia Leslie. India McDonald. Callum Patterson. Kirsty Claire Rutherford. Ellie Sinclair. Lucy Towson. HNC Administration and Information Technology, Katie Blaine. Leanne Hughes. Scott McLaren. HND Administration and Information Technology, Laura Andran Hernandez. Paulina Balinska. Anita Bala. Kinga Borsut. Lauren Daly. Janet Delfino. Sean Matthew McCabe. Scott McCurry. Shannon McNulty. Laura Marie O'Neill. Shannon Jade Sinclair. Callum Smith. Rachel Turgle. and Rabia Zahid. HNC Business with Enterprise, Abiha Arslan. Hajira Bibi. HNC Business with HR, Kerry Gallagher. HNC Business, Connor Arthur. Ross McIntyre Bjorn. Sarah MacLeod. HND Business, Momina Ahmad. Scott Beard. Emma Chatham. Liam Coote. Emily Clough Doherty. Jessica Ellis. Helen French. Christoph Adrian Gorszewski. Rowan Granger. Chloe Hunter. Michaela Jonathan. Stuart Kelso. Erica Kemp. Teresa Shalova. Ryan Lam. Felicity Lynch. Fraser McLennan. Courtney Ann Maitland. Ruth Malone. Rebecca Marshall. Sanil Masih. Amy Jeanette McGee. Amy Louise McKenna. Lee McCluckey. Olivia Nuala McNulty. Daniel Messenger. Sophie Milne. Andrew Montgomery. Rebecca Montgomery. Ross Nicholson. Bethany Patterson. Natalie Reid. Laura Strang. Michaela Shikova. Rachel Telford. Caitlin Thomas. Kelly Thompson. Rachel Elizabeth Thompson. Liam Wong. Nathan Wood. The Diploma of Higher Education and Business, Joseph Andrew Burney. Sarah Brown. Amy Daniels. Heather Drury. Louise McGuinness. HNC Legal Services with Criminology and Police Studies, Caitlin Carruthers. HNC Legal Services, Aishan Arif. Jahanara Mirza Ahmed. HND Legal Services, Kalsum Amia. Farhan Ahmed. Nafisa Beg. Amy Bowman. Amanda Yasmin Bruce. Kaylee Crawford. Adam Crookston. Agnieszka Dursun. Caitlin Farron. Callum Ferguson. Alicia Gemmell. Danielle Gibson. Lauren Gibson. Rachel Gilchrist. Michael Green. Olaf Greenwalds. Nida Hack. Lewis Holmes. Bisma Khan. Alicia Machis. Haley McAdam. Amber McCrone. Paula McDermott. Erin McGinty. Taylor McTaggart. Vary McWilliams. Rebecca Caitlin Mercer. Jamie Miller. Saba Mohammed. Rasab Parnez. David Primrose. Nadia Rahi. Jamie Robb. Yasmin Sabia. Chloe Suter. Kirsty Waddle. Amy Weldon. And Faye Woodall. HNC Care and Administrative Practice, Clinical Route, Taiba Akhtar. Samantha Bain. Erin Carrigan. Stasia Cristoforo. Samantha Julie Jo. Colleen Hanaway. Natalie Hendry. Amanda Hughes. Maury Lawarshaw. Megan McFarlane. Diane Umohoza. HNC Care and Administrative Practice, Joint Route, Lindsay Halliday. Caroline Mann Irvin. Stephanie Irvin. Elizabeth Kwame Kane. Magdalena Kapalka. Sarah MacLeod. Connor MacDonald. Emily Ralawa. Blanche Tasinda. HNC Social Services, Rachel Anton. Bunmi Balagun. Ololade Balagun. Taylor Belkovich. Gillian Black. Candice Blythe. Lauren Bruce. Dylan Duff. Amy Lee Elliott. Laura Faulkner. Leo Ferris. Fabienne Foster Jones. Lauren Gilzane. Ebony Given. Audrey Holland. Sarah Kayani. Robin Lafferty. Natasha Little. Megan McDowell. Laura McGrath. Molly McGuigan. Lisa McCurdy. Alan McMillan. Elizabeth Mullen. Hannah Patterson. Michelle Primrose. Angela Quinn. Virginia Helen Russell. Sukai Sekasene. Pamela Toka. HNC Childhood Practice. Ayobami Abimbola. Saira Amin. Anthony Bell. Mariam Bati. Chanel Boris. Sharon Bowie. Emma Boyle. Carly Burns. Nicola Cameron. Beth Chisholm. Drew Sarah Connolly. Sam Cook. Robert Crawford. Joan Cunningham. Billy Davey. Emma Davis. Cheryl Dodds. Becky Elder. Bryony Farrell. Julie Elizabeth Fitzgerald. Mariama Gaye. Nicole Hamilton. Gail Hendry. Lee Hutchison. Nicole Keane. Colfin Kennan. Karen Laurie. Rachel Marianne Leiden. Wendy Lockhart. Tracy Lyon. Yara McDonald. Gillian McFarlane. Sania Manzoor. Megan McCluskey. Abby McRae. Emily Jane McNabb. Elizabeth Ann Mulholland. Hugh Mullen. Chloe Linda Nash. Caitlin Palmer. Charlene Parker. Calista Patrick. Sadia Kadri. Michaela Alexandra Rivu. Lauren Shovlin. Jasmine Steele Murray. Melissa Stewart. Jade Toner. Nicola Watson. Olivia Welsh. Katie Wright. Iram Zahid. HND Childhood Practice. Melanie Cellino. Mark Gibson. Lauren O'Neill. Lauren Tannock. Iona Thompson. Jacinda Williams. HNC Social Sciences. Rachel Bain. Nicole Carmichael. Amy Louise Kearney. Abby Keenan. Michelle Yvonne Kelly. Jack McLaughlin. Alana McLean Bullen. And Courtney Schnell. HND Social Sciences. Robin Affleck. Natasha Shane. And Chelsea Weir. PDA in Commissioning, Procurement and Contracting for Care Services, Eddie Cassidy. Geraldine Cunningham. Nicola Dolan. Angela Dowdalls. And Amanda Williamson. PDA, Teaching Practice in Scotland's Colleges, Graham Hamilton. Donnie McLean. And Janet McGilp. PDA Technology, Enhanced Learning and Teaching, Heather McFarlane. Jennifer Martin. Tracy Middleton. SVQ, Social Services and Healthcare, Level 4, John McLaren. SVQ, Social Services and Healthcare with Business and Skills Training, Level 4, is Caroline Armour. SVQ, Social Services, Children and Young People, Level 4, Nicola Murray. Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development, Certificate in Human Resource Practice, Sarah Betty. Kirsten Brown. Iona Clark. Lindsay Geddes. Jenny Harper. Caroline Jones. Joanne Littlejohn. Gillian Lynch. Ainsley McCready. Karen Jean McDougall. Heather Miller. Ala Nikleza. Claire O'Donnell. Charlotte Scott. Pamela Ray Slack. And Sharon Wright. Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development, Level 5, Intermediate Certificate in Human Resource Management, Claire Connor. Claire Dorian. Susan Knox. Cheryl McGrory-Young. Nicholas McLaughlin. Brian McMahon. And Hamish Patterson. Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development, Certificate in Learning and Development Practice, Heather Jane Blair. Tom Crawford. Chris Downey. Lorraine Graham. Pauline Ward. And Jeanette Wilsden. CIH Level 4 Certificate in Housing, Paulina Cunningham. Deborah Gardner. Colin Laird. Michelle Little. Lindsay Morgan. Joyce Ogesia. Precious Adaronke Papula Aboye. HNC Facilities Management, Tracy Anderson. Gordon Glover. Helen Heron. Lynn McBride. Jerry McDermott. Claire Ann Sleeth. And Catherine Thompson. TUC Diploma in Occupational Health and Safety, Ian Cormack. Peter Doherty. Jim Gallagher. John Gallagher. Andy McQuaid. Chris Rossi. And Cameron Robert Smith. TUC Diploma in Employment Law, Myra Bannister. Linda Benton. Angela Marie Bretherton. Susan Burns. Michael Craig. Wendy Hudson. John Neal. Barry Weldon. And Wilma Wheatley. Principal, that concludes the conferring of awards to graduates of the Faculty of Education and Humanities. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, Principal, and thank you to our Dean. As you have all heard, this is a significant year for the College, and we thought you would enjoy a reminder of that in this short film, which lasts for just 2 minutes. Can I now invite our guest of honour, Liz Cameron, to come forward to present our top student prizes. The Principal's Prize for Outstanding Academic Achievement, and our congratulations, go to, for HND Financial Services, Carolyn McDowell. For HND Administration and Information Technology, Laura Adrian-Hernandez. For HND Business, Sophie Milne. For HNC Care and Administrative Practice, Stasia Christoforou. For HNC Social Services, Dylan Duff. For HNC Childhood Practice, Mihaela Alexandra Ribu. And we have two special prizes to award. The Tom McGlone Prize for Endeavour, HND Accounting, Rachel Connor. And the BMI Ross Hall Prize, HNC Care and Administrative Practice, Stephanie Irvin. Thank you, Liz, and congratulations to each and every one of you. Principal Little, can I invite you to present Liz with a small token of our appreciation to her for joining us today. Finally, I would like to thank all our distinguished guests and all the members of staff who have made today possible. I offer you, our graduates of 2019, my personal congratulations, and I wish you every success in what I'm sure will be a bright future for each and every one of you. You, your family, and your friends are invited to join us for celebratory refreshments just outside the auditorium. This brings this afternoon's ceremony to a close. Please be upstanding for the platform party to leave the auditorium. Thank you.